The phone rings at 3 a.m., and Jihoon Kang knows, before he even answers, that his life is about to shatter. 8 months. 8 months since he signed those divorce papers and walked away from the only woman who made him feel human. But the voice screaming through the line isn't asking for closure. It's begging for survival. She's in labor. There are gunshots, and the baby she's about to bring into this world, it's his. Listen. If you've ever wondered what happens when love collides with the underworld, when a single decision changes everything, you need to stick around for this one. And hey, if you're already hooked, go ahead and smash that subscribe button right now, because what comes next is going to blow your mind. I promise you, you've never heard a story like this before. The contract sits on the mahogany desk like a death sentence wrapped in legal jargon. Zuri Campbell's hands tremble as she reads the terms for the third time. 3 years. No emotional attachment, no questions about his business. Absolute discretion. In exchange, $2 million, enough to pay for her brother's experimental treatment in Switzerland, enough to save the only family she has left. Across from her, Jihoon Kang doesn't move. He's a statue carved from ice and expensive cologne. Mid-30s, sharp jawline, eyes like black diamonds that reveal nothing. His suit probably costs more than her annual salary. Behind him, floor-to-ceiling windows frame Seoul's glittering skyline like he owns every light in the city. Maybe he does. You understand what you're agreeing to? His voice is smooth, controlled. English with a barely-there accent that makes every word sound calculated. Zuri nods. Her throat feels like sandpaper. A marriage. In name only. Not quite. He leans forward, and for the first time, his eyes meet hers fully. They're predatory, assessing. You'll live in my home, attend functions, play the role of Mrs. Kang when required. In public, you're devoted. In private. He pauses, and something flickers across his face. In private, we're strangers. She thinks of Marcus in that hospital bed, his skin gray against white sheets, the machines breathing for him, 23 years old and dying because she can't afford to save him. Where do I sign? The corner of Jihoon's mouth twitches. Not quite a smile. Are you always this impulsive, Miss Campbell? Are you always this cold, Mr. Kang? For a heartbeat, something shifts in the air between them. His eyes narrow slightly, like he's recalibrating his assessment. Then the mask slides back into place. He slides a fountain pen across the desk. It's heavy, probably vintage, probably worth more than her car. Zuri signs. Her signature looks small and frightened next to his bold, slashing script. Welcome to the family, Jihoon says, and it sounds like a threat. The penthouse is a museum of wealth and emotional emptiness. Zuri's bedroom, not theirs, never theirs, is larger than her entire apartment was. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook Han River. The bed could sleep 4. The closet has been filled with designer clothes in her exact size, tags still attached, dresses that cost thousands, shoes she's afraid to walk in. She hasn't seen Jihoon in 3 days. His assistant, a rail-thin woman named Mrs. Lim, delivers instructions through the bedroom door. Gala on Friday, wear the emerald dress, hair up, minimal jewelry. Mr. Kang will collect you at 7. Zuri spends her days wandering the empty rooms like a ghost. The penthouse is all clean lines and cold marble. Nothing personal, no photos, no clutter, no evidence that a human being actually lives here. Just expensive art she doesn't understand, and furniture that looks uncomfortable on purpose. At night, she hears him. The elevator opens, footsteps in the hallway. His office door closes. Sometimes she hears him on the phone speaking rapid Korean in a voice that could cut glass. Sometimes she hears nothing at all, and somehow that's worse. On Thursday, she finally sees him. It's 2 a.m. She can't sleep, so she's in the kitchen making tea. Something to do with her hands, something to make this place feel less like a 5-star prison. She's wearing an old Howard University t-shirt and sleep shorts, her natural curls piled in a messy bun. The lights flick on. Jihoon freezes in the doorway. His tie is loose, top button undone. There's blood on his collar. Not his, she realizes. His eyes are different at this hour. Tired, almost human. They stare at each other. Zuri clutches her mug like a shield. I didn't mean to disturb you, she says quietly. You're not. He moves into the kitchen, and she catches the scent of him, expensive cologne cutting through something darker. Smoke, whiskey, violence. You can't sleep? New place. She shrugs. Different sounds. He opens a cabinet, pulls down a bottle of something amber and expensive. pours 2 fingers into a crystal glass, doesn't offer her any. "You'll adjust," he says, but he doesn't leave. He stands there, drink in hand, watching her with an intensity that makes her skin prickle. "The gala tomorrow," she starts. "You'll be fine. Just smile. Stay close. Don't answer questions about my work." "I don't know anything about your work." "Exactly." He takes a slow sip. "Keep it that way." The kitchen feels too small suddenly, despite its massive island and commercial-grade appliances. Zuri sets down her mug. She should go back to her room. This wasn't part of the contract. Awkward kitchen encounters at 2 a.m., but before she can move, Jihoon speaks again. "Your brother, how is he?" She blinks. "You checked on him?" "I made a promise. I keep my promises." His expression doesn't change, but something in his voice softens microscopically. "The treatment started yesterday. The doctors are optimistic." Zuri's throat tightens. She hadn't known, hadn't dared to hope it would happen so fast. "Thank you." "Don't thank me. You paid for it." "With 3 years of my life?" "Yes." He sets down his glass. "You did." He walks past her, so close she can feel the heat radiating from his body. At the doorway, he pauses, doesn't turn around. "The emerald dress?" he says. "It'll suit you." Then he's gone, and Zuri is alone again, her tea going cold, her heart beating faster than it should. The gala is a performance. Jihoon's hand is a brand on the small of Zuri's back as he guides her through the crowd. Men in tuxedos, women dripping in diamonds. Everyone speaking in hushed Korean, switching to English when they address her. The curiosity naked in their eyes. "Mrs. Kang, what a surprise. We didn't know Jihoon was seeing anyone. How long have you been married?" She smiles, plays her role, lets Jihoon answer the dangerous questions with smooth deflections that reveal nothing. They're good at this, she realizes. The choreography of deception. He touches her exactly enough, a hand at her waist, fingers brushing her arm, to sell the illusion without crossing the invisible lines they've drawn. She laughs at his dry observations, leans into him when photographers approach, plays the devoted wife so convincingly she almost believes it herself. But then she catches him watching her when he thinks she's not looking. It happens at the champagne table. She's reaching for a glass, and she feels his gaze like a physical touch. When she turns, his expression is unreadable, but his eyes, those cold, calculating eyes, are burning. "What?" she asks. "Nothing." He looks away. "We should make an appearance on the terrace." The terrace overlooks the city, strings of lights casting everything in gold. It's quieter here, just a handful of couples enjoying the night air. Zuri leans against the railing, letting herself breathe for the first time in hours. "You're good at this," Jihoon says beside her. He's lit a cigarette. She didn't know he smoked. The acting. "So are you." "I've had more practice." He exhales smoke into the night. "You're not what I expected." "What did you expect?" "Someone easier to ignore." The words hit like a punch. Zuri turns to him, but his profile is unreadable in the dim light. Before she can respond, his phone buzzes. He checks it, and his entire body goes rigid. "We're leaving." His voice has changed. Dangerous now. Cold. "What's wrong?" "Now, Zuri." He grabs her hand, the first time he's used her first name, and pulls her back through the gala. People stare. She sees Mrs. Lim intercept them at the entrance, speaking rapid Korean. Jihoon snaps something back. Then they're in the elevator alone. "What's happening?" Zuri demands. "A problem." He's texting someone, jaw clenched. "Nothing you need to worry about." "Jihoon? Don't ask questions." The elevator descends. Zuri's heart pounds. This is the real him, she realizes. Not the smooth socialite from the party. This is the man who puts blood on his collar at 2 a.m. This is the man dangerous enough that people speak his name like a prayer or a curse. The elevator opens to the parking garage. His driver is waiting, engine running. Jihoon hustles her into the back seat, slides in beside her. His hand is still gripping hers. He hasn't let go. "Drive," he tells the driver in Korean. As they pull into traffic, Zuri sees them, 3 black SUVs following at a distance. "We're being followed," she whispers. "I know." "Shouldn't we? Trust me." He finally looks at her, and his eyes are blazing with something she can't name. "Can you do that? Just for tonight. Trust me?" Zuri doesn't know why she nods. Doesn't know why she tightens her grip on his hand instead of pulling away. But something in his voice, in his eyes, makes her stay. "Yes," she breathes. "I trust you." And the city blurs past them as they race into the dark. They don't go back to the penthouse. Instead, the driver takes them to a building in Gangnam, nondescript, easy to miss. Underground parking, a private elevator that requires a fingerprint scan. Jihoon still hasn't let go of her hand. The elevator opens to a safe house. Sparse furniture, reinforced windows, weapons on the wall that make Zuri's stomach drop. "Stay here," Jihoon orders. He's already moving, checking his phone, speaking rapid-fire Korean into a call. 3 men appear from another room. Bodyguards, she realizes. They're wearing earpieces and shoulder holsters. "Jihoon, what's happening?" Zuri's voice cracks. He ends his call, turns to her. For a moment, his mask slips, and she sees something raw underneath. Fear, rage, something else. "A negotiation went wrong," he says quietly. "Someone decided to send a message. They followed us from the gala." "A message? By targeting you." The words freeze in the air between them. Zuri's blood runs cold. "Me? But I'm nobody. You're my wife." The words come out fierce, possessive. "That makes you leverage." She sinks onto the couch, legs suddenly weak. This is real. This isn't some drama she can turn off. This is her life now, a life she signed up for with shaking hands and desperate hope. "I'm sorry." Jihoon's voice is different, softer. "This was never supposed to touch you. You said no one would know. I was wrong." He crouches in front of her, eye level now. This close, she can see the exhaustion etched into his face. "I underestimated how much they'd want to hurt me." "Who? That's not your concern." "Jihoon." "Zuri." He grabs her shoulders, and the touch sends electricity through her. "Listen to me. You're safe here. My men will protect you. In 2 days, this will be resolved, and you can go back to your life. Your normal, safe life where you pretend I don't exist." "Is that what you want?" The question escapes before she can stop it. "For me to pretend?" His hands tighten on her shoulders. His eyes search hers, and for one suspended moment, she thinks he might answer honestly. Might admit that these 8 weeks of marriage haven't been as easy to ignore as he pretended. But then his phone rings, shattering the moment. He stands, answers, listens. His expression goes deadly calm. "Understood," he says in English. Then, to his men in Korean, "Prepare the cars." He hangs up, looks at Zuri. "I have to go. Now?" "Now." He's already moving, shrugging into a jacket, checking a gun with practiced efficiency. "Stay here. Don't open the door for anyone but Mrs. Lim." "Jihoon." She stands and she doesn't know what she's about to say. "Be careful? Come back? Don't leave me here alone with the weight of what almost happened?" He stops at the door, looks back, and for just a second his mask cracks completely. "I won't let anyone hurt you," he says, and it sounds like an oath, like a promise that means more than the contract they signed. "I swear it." Then he's gone, and Zuri is alone with armed guards, and the terrible realization that somewhere in the last 8 weeks, this stopped being about the money. She's falling for him, for the man who bought 3 years of her life, for the man who keeps blood on his collar and ghosts in his eyes, for the man who just looked at her like she was something precious instead of a business transaction. And that's the most dangerous thing of all. 3 days after the incident, everything changes. Zuri is eating breakfast, alone as always, when Mrs. Lim enters with an envelope. Cream-colored, expensive paper, the kind that delivers news you don't want to hear. "Mr. Kang asked me to give you this." Zuri's hands shake as she opens it. Inside, a single sheet of paper, legal letterhead. The words swim before her eyes, but certain phrases cut through. Termination of contract, breach of security protocols, full payment rendered effective immediately. At the bottom, Jihoon's signature, bold, final. "I don't understand," Zuri whispers. Mrs. Lim's expression is carefully neutral. "Mr. Kang has arranged for your belongings to be packed and delivered. A car will take you home this afternoon. The full amount has been transferred to your account." "But the contract was for 3 years. Mr. Kang is releasing you early. He considers this a gift." "A gift." Zuri wants to laugh, wants to scream. "Where is he?" "Unavailable." Mrs. Lim. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Kang. These are Mr. Kang's instructions." The rest of the day passes in a blur. Zuri watches strangers pack her life into boxes. Clothes she never chose, jewelry she never wore, 3 months of playing house in a palace made of ice. Her phone shows a bank notification. $2 million. Exactly as promised. She should feel relieved, grateful. She got what she came for. Marcus is in Switzerland, responding to treatment. She's free. So why does it feel like her heart is being ripped out? At 4 p.m., the car arrives. Zuri takes one last look at the penthouse, at the view she'd started to think of as hers, at the kitchen where they'd shared midnight conversations, at the ghost of a life that was never real. As the driver loads her bag, she sees him, Jihoon, standing in the office window 50 floors up, just a silhouette against the glass, watching her leave. She wants to run back, wants to demand answers, wants to know why he looked at her like she mattered and then threw her away like she didn't. But the door closes, the car pulls away, and Jihoon disappears from view. Zuri presses her hand to her stomach where a secret no one knows is starting to grow. A consequence of one night 3 weeks ago when the mask slipped completely, when boundaries blurred, when the contract was forgotten in tangled sheets and desperate whispers. A baby. His baby. And he'll never know. Because 8 weeks ago, Zuri Campbell signed a contract promising no emotional attachment. And 8 weeks later, she's leaving with a broken heart and a life growing inside her that was never part of the deal. The city blurs past the window. Zuri closes her eyes, and in the darkness behind her eyelids, she makes a choice. She won't tell him, won't trap him with a consequence he never wanted, won't force herself back into a life he just paid $2 million to escape. She'll disappear, raise this baby alone, let Jihoon Kang go back to his cold empire and his colder heart. She'll let him forget she ever existed. Jihoon Kang doesn't sleep anymore. 8 months since he signed those papers. 8 months since he watched her drive away. 8 months of telling himself it was the right call, the only call that would keep her safe from the war brewing in the shadows of his world. 8 months of drowning in work, of hostile takeovers and blood debts and late-night meetings where men make promises they won't keep. 8 months of coming home to that empty penthouse and hearing ghosts in the kitchen. He's in his office when his private cell rings. The number is unknown, international. He almost doesn't answer, but something makes him. Yes, breathing, ragged, panicked. Then a voice he'd recognize anywhere, even filtered through pain and distance. Jihoon. His entire world stops. Zuri? I'm sorry, her voice cracks. I didn't know who else to call. There's a sound in the background. Shouting. Gunfire. Jihoon is on his feet, heart slamming against his ribs. Where are you? St. Mary's Hospital, Lagos. She gasps and the sound cuts through him like a blade. I'm in labor. The baby's coming and there more gunfire. Closer this time. Zuri screams. Zuri! He's shouting now. Listen to me. Find somewhere to hide. I'm coming. They know. She's crying. They know about the baby. They're here for her. The line goes dead. Jihoon stares at the phone, mind reeling. Baby. Labor. Lagos. Gunfire. His baby. She was pregnant. 8 months ago when he pushed her away, signed those papers, told himself it was for her own good, she was carrying his child, and now someone is trying to kill them both. He's moving before conscious thought catches up. Hits speed dial. Minho, get the jet ready, Lagos, Nigeria now. Grabs his go bag, always packed, always ready. Send the coordinates to the team. I want 8 men, full tactical. We leave in 20 minutes. Boss, what's? 20 minutes. No questions. He hangs up. His hands are shaking. Jihoon Kang, who built an empire on control, who hasn't trembled since he was 16 years old, is shaking like a leaf. Zuri. Pregnant, alone, under attack. He should have known, should have checked on her, should have done 1,000 things differently. The penthouse blurs around him as he moves. Weapons, cash, documents. His mind is already in Lagos, already calculating entry points and exits, already planning how to turn a hospital into a fortress. His phone rings again. Unknown number. He answers instantly. Zuri? Heavy breathing. A man's voice, accented English. Mr. Kang, we haven't met, but I believe we have mutual interests. Ice floods Jihoon's veins. Who is this? A concerned party. Your wife, ex-wife, excuse me, is causing problems. So is the child she's carrying. If you touch her, you'll what? Amusement in that voice. Dark, cruel. You're 12 hours away. She's in labor. Vulnerable, and my men are very motivated. I'll burn your world to ash. Perhaps. But first, you'll listen to my offer. Jihoon closes his eyes, forces his voice to steady. This is a negotiation, the only language he speaks fluently. Talk. The child cannot live. You understand why. The council has decided, fuck the council, that the bloodline ends here. But Mrs. Kang, she can be spared, if you agree to our terms. Never. Not even to save her life? Jihoon's jaw clenches so hard he tastes blood. I'm going to find you. I'm going to make you beg for death. 12 hours, Mr. Kang. By then, it will all be over. Unless, a pause. Unless you get here first. The line goes dead. Jihoon stands in his office, the city lights glittering below like false stars, and makes a decision. The council thinks they can take his family, his child, his Zuri. They're about to learn why Jihoon Kang became the most feared name in Seoul. He grabs his coat. His phone rings again. Minho. The jet's ready, boss? Good. Jihoon's voice is pure ice, pure death. Tell the team, no rules, no mercy, we're going to war. He walks out of his office without looking back. Behind him, Seoul glitters in the dark. Ahead of him, 12 hours and 7,000 miles to the only thing that matters. And God help anyone who stands in his way. The flight is eternal. Jihoon spends 12 hours in the air, watching the clock, checking his phone for updates that don't come. His team sits in tactical silence. 8 men who followed him through hell and back. They don't ask questions. They simply prepare. Minho briefs him on the situation. St. Mary's Hospital, Lagos Island. We've made contact with local assets. The hospital is surrounded, at least 20 hostiles, maybe more. They're not trying to be subtle. Security? Minimal. This is a public hospital, not a fortress. Local police are complicated. Meaning? Meaning whoever hired these men has deep pockets. The police aren't responding to calls. Jihoon's jaw tightens. Equipment? Full tactical. Suppressors, flashbangs, body armor. We go in fast, extract faster. And Zuri? Mino hesitates. No confirmation on her status. Last cellular activity was the call to you. After that, he doesn't finish. Jihoon closes his eyes. 12 hours. Anything could have happened in 12 hours. She could be... No, he won't think it. Can't think it. She's alive. She has to be alive. The plane touches down at a private airfield outside Lagos at 3:47 a.m. local time. A convoy of vehicles is waiting. Black SUVs with tinted windows. No questions asked. Money talks, especially Jihoon's money. They drive through Lagos in the pre-dawn darkness. The city is awake despite the hour. Street vendors, music spilling from clubs, the organized chaos of a place that never truly sleeps. Under different circumstances, Jihoon might appreciate it. Right now, it's just obstacles between him and Zuri. 2 minutes, Minho says from the driver's seat. Jihoon checks his weapon. Glock 19, 17 rounds, 2 extra magazines. He's killed men with less. St. Mary's Hospital rises ahead, a tired building with peeling paint and barred windows. 3 black vans are parked outside. Men in civilian clothes, trying to look casual, failing. 23 hostiles confirmed, Minho reports. 12 outside, 11 inside. They're concentrated on the maternity ward, 3rd floor. She's still there, Jihoon says. It's not a question. He can feel it. She's still fighting. Boss, Minho's voice is careful. If she's been in labor this long, then we're out of time. Jihoon's voice is steel, split into 3 teams. Alpha takes the east entrance, Bravo west. I'm going through the front. That's suicide. That's an order. The vehicles stop 2 blocks away. The team moves like shadows, silent, efficient, deadly. Jihoon leads his group toward the main entrance. 4 hostiles outside, smoking cigarettes, checking phones. Amateurs, hired muscle. They don't see death coming. Jihoon moves fast. Suppressor muffles the first shot. The guard drops. His partner turns, too slow. 2 shots, center mass. The remaining 2 barely have time to reach for their weapons before Minho and the others cut them down. 6 seconds. 4 bodies. No alarms raised. They slip inside. The hospital is dim, running on emergency lighting. A nurse sees them, eyes going wide. Jihoon puts a finger to his lips, points to the exit. She runs. Smart woman. The stairwell is empty. They climb in silence, weapons up, every corner a potential ambush. 3rd floor, the maternity ward. Jihoon's heart is a war drum in his chest. The hallway ahead is a killing field. Bodies, hospital staff, security, people who were in the wrong place. Jihoon steps over them, fury burning cold in his veins. Voices ahead. Speaking Russian. At least 4 men, maybe more, guarding a door at the end of the hall. That's it, Minho whispers. That's where they're keeping her. Jihoon doesn't hesitate, doesn't plan, doesn't think. He walks into the open, weapon raised. The first guard sees him, shouts, reaches for his gun. Jihoon is faster. The suppressor coughs twice. The guard drops. The others scatter, diving for cover, returning fire. Bullets tear through the walls. Jihoon moves like water, like smoke, like death itself. His team flanks from both sides. It's a symphony of violence, controlled, precise, lethal. 15 seconds later, 6 bodies litter the hallway. Jihoon kicks open the door. The room is a war zone. overturned medical equipment, blood on the floor. And there, behind an overturned hospital bed, he sees her. Zuri. She's pressed against the wall, hospital gown soaked with sweat and blood, one hand pressed to her enormous belly, the other holding a scalpel like a weapon. Her eyes are wild with fear and pain and desperation. When she sees him, something breaks in her expression. Jihoon, she gasps. He's across the room in 2 strides, dropping to his knees beside her. His hands hover over her, afraid to touch, afraid she'll disappear. I'm here. You're safe now. The baby. Her voice cracks. Jihoon, the baby's coming. A contraction hits. Zuri screams, doubling over. Jihoon catches her and his hands come away bloody. Minho, he roars. I need a medic, now. But even as he says it, he knows. There's no time. The baby is coming here now, in this blood-soaked room with bodies in the hallway and death at the door. Zuri grabs his shirt, pulls him close. Her eyes are blazing. Listen to me. If something happens, if I don't make it, you have to protect our baby. Promise me. You're going to make it. Promise me. I promise. He cups her face and he doesn't recognize his own voice. But you're both going to survive. You're both going to be fine. I didn't cross the world to lose you now. Another contraction. Zuri's scream tears through him. Minho bursts in with a medical kit. We need to move her. No time, Jihoon snaps. The baby's coming. Find me a doctor. Find me anyone who knows how to deliver a baby. Boss, the remaining hostiles? I don't care. Secure the floor. No one gets through. Minho disappears. Jihoon turns back to Zuri. Her face is gray, lips white. She's losing too much blood. Stay with me, he orders. That's an order, Zuri. You don't get to leave me again. She laughs, hysterical, broken. You divorced me, remember? Worst mistake of my life. Jihoon, I ended it because they threatened you. Because being my wife painted a target on your back. Because I was falling for you, and that terrified me more than any bullet. The words spill out. Truth he's kept buried for 8 months. I thought pushing you away would keep you safe. I was wrong. Tears stream down her face. I should have told you about the baby. Why didn't you? Because you paid me to leave. Because I thought... She gasps through another contraction. I thought you didn't want. I want everything. His voice breaks. I want you. I want our child. I want every single thing I threw away because I was too afraid to admit I'd fallen in love with you. Zuri stares at him. You love me? Yes. Simple. Devastating. True. You have terrible timing, she whispers. Then she screams again, and there's no more time for words. A nurse appears, one of the staff who hid during the firefight. She takes one look at Zuri and snaps into action. The baby is crowning. I need towels, hot water, and everyone who isn't medical out of this room. I'm not leaving, Jihoon says flatly. Then help me. Hold her hand. Talk to her. Keep her conscious. The next 20 minutes are a blur of blood and screaming and Jihoon murmuring words in Korean he doesn't remember learning. Zuri crushes his hand hard enough to break bones. He doesn't feel it. He just watches her fight, watches her push through pain that would drop grown men, watches her battle for their child with the same fierce determination she's shown since the day she signed that contract. And then, a cry. Sharp, angry, alive. The nurse holds up a tiny, squirming bundle. It's a boy. Jihoon can't breathe. Can't think. Can't do anything but stare at this impossibly small creature screaming his way into the world. His son. The nurse places the baby on Zuri's chest. Zuri is crying, laughing, trembling. She looks up at Jihoon, and her smile is radiant despite the exhaustion. We have a son, she whispers. Jihoon reaches out with a shaking hand, touches the baby's tiny fist. Those miniature fingers wrap around his thumb, and something inside him, something he thought died years ago, cracks wide open. Hello, he says softly. I'm your father, and I'm never letting you go. Outside, gunfire erupts again. Minho shouts orders. The siege isn't over. But in this room, for just a moment, there's peace. There's family. There's everything Jihoon Kang never thought he'd have. They have maybe 20 minutes before reinforcements arrive. Minho appears in the doorway, blood on his tactical vest. We're clear for now, but there's another wave coming. We need to move. She just gave birth. Jihoon snaps. And she'll die here if we don't go. Now. Jihoon looks at Zuri. She's pale, exhausted, barely conscious, but her arms are locked around their son like steel. Can you walk? He asks gently. I can do anything if it means getting him out of here. The nurse helps Zuri to her feet. Jihoon wraps his jacket around her shoulders. She's shaking, probably in shock. The baby is bundled in hospital blankets, still crying, angry at the world he's just entered. Smart kid. The world is angry at him too. Minho leads the way. Alpha and Bravo teams have secured the stairwell. Bodies mark their path, hostiles who learn too late not to stand between Jihoon Kang and his family. They make it to the ground floor when the doors burst open. More men, a dozen at least, heavily armed, leading them, a face Jihoon recognizes. Alexei Volkov, Russian mob, old enemy. Going somewhere, Kang? Alexei calls out in Russian-accented English. He's smiling. Gun pointed at Zuri. You should have stayed in Seoul. You should have left my family alone. The council gave orders. The council can go to hell. Jihoon steps forward, putting himself between the guns and Zuri. This ends now, Alexei. Walk away. Or what? You're outnumbered. I really don't care. For a moment, they stand frozen. A Mexican standoff in a Lagos hospital. Then Alexei's smile widens. You always were stubborn. Fine. We'll do this the hard way. He raises his gun. Jihoon moves. He's fast. Faster than he should be. Faster than men expect. His weapon is up before Alexei can fire. One shot. Clean. Alexei drops, blood blooming on his chest. Then chaos. Gunfire erupts. Jihoon's team returns fire, laying down cover. Minho grabs Zuri, pulling her toward the exit. Jihoon follows, walking backwards, firing controlled bursts at anything that moves. They burst out into the Lagos dawn. The SUVs are waiting, engines running. Minho shoves Zuri into the back seat. Jihoon slides in beside her, never taking his eyes off the hospital entrance. More hostiles pour out. His team lays down, suppressing fire as the convoy peels away into traffic. Drive, Minho shouts. Airport, go, go, go. Lagos blurs past. Jihoon finally turns to Zuri. She's holding the baby, both of them shaking. The baby has stopped crying, probably in shock, too much stimulation for someone only 20 minutes old. Are you hurt? Jihoon demands. I'm fine. But her voice is weak. June, he's so small. What if? He's perfect. Jihoon reaches out, touches his son's face with infinite gentleness. He's perfect because he's yours. Ours, Zuri corrects. Ours, Jihoon agrees. Behind them, police sirens wail. Ahead, the airport waits. The jet is fueled, ready, cleared for immediate departure. Money talks, money screams. They make it to the tarmac without further incident. Jihoon lifts Zuri in his arms. She tries to protest, but she's too weak. The nurse from the hospital comes with them. Jihoon threw enough cash at her to buy her silence and her continued care. On the plane, Zuri collapses onto a seat. The nurse checks her vitals, changes the baby's blankets, sets up a makeshift recovery area. She needs a hospital, the nurse says quietly to Jihoon. Proper care. She's lost a lot of blood. How long can she wait? A few hours, maybe, but no more. Jihoon nods. Does the math. Seoul is 14 hours away. Too long. Minho, change of plans. We're going to Dubai. I have a facility there. Discreet. Secure. On it, boss. The plane lifts off as the sun rises over Lagos. Jihoon sits beside Zuri, watching her sleep. The baby is nestled against her chest, both of them breathing in sync. His family, his responsibility, his reason for everything. Minho drops into the seat across from him. We lost 2 men back there. Jihoon closes his eyes. Their families? Already taken care of. But boss, this isn't over. Alexei was just the muscle. Whoever sent him... I know. Jihoon's voice is cold. The council wants my son dead. They see him as a threat, a complication. What are you going to do? Jihoon opens his eyes, looks at his sleeping son, at Zuri's hand resting protectively on the baby's back. I'm going to burn it all down, he says quietly. The council, the old rules, every single thing that threatens my family, and then I'm going to rebuild it all in my image. That's war. Yes, Jihoon agrees, it is. He reaches out, touches his son's tiny hand. Those fingers wrap around his thumb again, already so strong, already a fighter. What are you going to name him? Minho asks. Jihoon looks at Zuri, remembers her in his kitchen at 2 a.m., remembers her in that emerald dress, remembers her signing a contract with shaking hands to save her brother, remembers her screaming through labor in a war zone, refusing to give up. Kenzo, he says, it means strong and healthy. He's going to need to be both. Kenzo Kang, Minho tests the name, nods. It's good. The plane levels out. Below them, the world shrinks to insignificance. Up here, there's just this moment. This family. This fierce, desperate love that Jihoon never saw coming. He leans back, closes his eyes for the first time in 30 hours, and dreams of building a world safe enough for his son to grow up in. even if he has to kill everyone who stands in his way. Dubai is heat and glass and refuge. Jihoon's safe house here is a penthouse, because of course it is, in one of the anonymous luxury towers that pierce the sky like needles. It's been prepared, medical equipment, supplies, security that would make a military base jealous. A private doctor examines Zuri, blood transfusion, IV fluids, medications. Jihoon doesn't recognize. The doctor is discreet, well-paid, and smart enough not to ask questions. She'll recover, he tells Jihoon, but she needs rest, weeks of it. No stress, no excitement. Jihoon almost laughs. No stress, with the Korean Mafia hunting them and a newborn who cries every 2 hours. Sure, no problem. Zuri sleeps for 16 hours straight. Jihoon sits beside her bed the entire time, holding Kenzo. The baby is impossibly small in his arms, so fragile. How does anyone survive being this vulnerable? When Zuri finally wakes, it's to find Jihoon pacing the room, Kenzo against his shoulder, murmuring in Korean. A lullaby, maybe, or a promise, or both. You're singing to him, Zuri says, voice rough with sleep. Jihoon turns. Something in his expression softens when he sees her awake. My mother used to sing this. Before. He stops. Doesn't finish. Zuri sits up slowly. Everything hurts. Before what? Before I became what I am. He crosses to her, carefully transfers Kenzo to her arms. The baby fusses, then settles against her chest. Are you hungry? Thirsty? The doctor said. I'm fine. She looks up at him. Jihoon, we need to talk. You need to rest. We need to talk, she insists, about what happens next. About, she gestures vaguely, all of this. Jihoon sits on the edge of the bed, runs a hand through his hair. He looks exhausted, truly exhausted, not just the calculated wariness he used to wear like armor. What do you want me to say? He asks quietly. The truth. Why did you really end the contract? He's silent for a long moment. Then, I told you. They threatened you. Who? The council. The old guard. They didn't approve of my choice of wife. Wrong background. Wrong color. Wrong everything. His jaw clenches. They made it clear that as long as you were mine, you were a target. So you divorced me to protect me. Yes. And when did you plan to tell me this? Never. He looks at her, eyes dark with old pain. You were supposed to take the money. Move on. Forget I existed. Be safe. Be free. I was pregnant, Zuri says. I was carrying your child and you had no idea because you were too busy playing martyr. I know. Do you? Her voice rises. Kenzo stirs, sensing tension. She forces herself to calm. Jihoon, I spent 8 months terrified. Alone. Hiding from shadows because I didn't know who might be watching. I couldn't go to hospitals. Couldn't tell anyone who the father was. Do you have any idea what that was like? No, he admits. But I'm here now. For how long? Until the next threat? Until the next impossible choice. She's crying now, angry tears. I can't do this, Jihoon. I can't keep wondering when you're going to push me away again for my own good. He reaches for her, stops. His hand hovers in the air between them. I was wrong. I know that now. I thought I could keep you safe by letting you go, but all I did was leave you vulnerable, alone. If I had been there, if I had known. His voice breaks. I could have protected you both. I don't need your protection. I need your honesty. Then here's honesty. He stands, paces to the window. Dubai glitters below, all light and wealth and illusion. I'm in love with you. I have been since the day you signed that contract with your hands shaking and your chin up, ready to sell 3 years of your life to save your brother. You were the bravest person I'd ever met, and he turns back. I didn't know what to do with that. With you. So I kept you at arm's length, told myself it was just a contract, just business. And now? Now I have a son. And the woman I love almost died because I wasn't there to protect her. And there's a council of old men in Seoul who want my family dead. His smile is sharp, dangerous. So now I'm going to war, and when I'm done, there won't be anyone left who can threaten you. Zuri stares at him, at this man who crossed the world to save her, who held her hand through labor in a war zone, who looks at their son like he's discovering religion. What if I don't want you to go to war? She asks softly. Then I'll do it anyway. No apology in his voice. I won't lose you again, Zuri. Either of you. Whatever it takes. Kenzo chooses that moment to cry. Hungry, probably. Zuri shifts him, pulls down her hospital gown. Jihoon turns away, giving her privacy, but she calls him back. Don't. You're his father. You don't have to leave. So he stays, watches as she feeds their son, watches the way Kenzo's tiny hand rests against her breast, watches the Madonna and child portrait they make in the Dubai sunlight. I don't know how to do this, he admits. Be a father, be a family. Neither do I, Zuri says, but we're doing it anyway. Together? She looks up, meets his eyes. That depends. Are you going to run away again when things get scary? No. Promise? I promise. He crosses to her, kneels beside the bed, takes her free hand. No more running, no more lies, no more contracts. Just, he searches for words, just us, however messy that is. Zuri threads her fingers through his. It's going to be really messy. I can handle messy. Can you handle midnight feedings? I'll learn. Diaper changes? I've cleaned up worse. A council trying to kill us? His expression goes cold. That's the easy part. Outside, Dubai burns under the sun. But in this room, there's something fragile and new taking root. Something that looks like hope, like family, like a future worth fighting for. Kenzo finishes feeding. Zuri passes him to Jihoon, and the baby settles immediately against his father's chest. He likes you, Zuri observes. He's smart, like his mother, and stubborn, like his father. They smile at each other. The first real smile since everything fell apart 8 months ago. Then Jihoon's phone buzzes. The smile dies. He checks the screen. His expression goes deadly calm. They found us. Zuri's blood runs cold. How? Does it matter? He's already moving, still holding Kenzo. Get dressed. We're leaving, now. Where? Seoul. His voice is iron. It's time to end this, once and for all. The flight to Seoul is tense. Zuri is still weak, but the doctor cleared her for travel with strict instructions and enough medication to stock a pharmacy. Kenzo sleeps in a portable bassinet, oblivious to the storm brewing around him. Jihoon spends most of the flight on encrypted calls, speaking rapid Korean. Zuri catches fragments, names, locations, orders that sound like battlefield commands. When he finally hangs up, he looks 10 years older. Tell me, Zuri says. The council is meeting in 3 days, emergency session. They've declared Kenzo a threat to the succession, to the old ways. He laughs bitterly. A 3-day-old baby is a threat. What are they going to do? Issue a formal death order. Make it official. Then every asset in the organization will be hunting us. So we run. No. Jihoon's eyes are blazing. We fight. I challenge the council. Invoke the old rules. Demand a hearing. What old rules? The same ones that let me inherit my position at 25. Blood right. Trial by combat. It's ancient, barbaric, and exactly what I need. He leans forward. If I win, I take control. Rewrite the laws. Make Kenzo legitimate. Make you. He stops. Make me what? My wife. Officially. Not a contract. Not a transaction. A real marriage. If, his voice drops, if you'll have me. Zuri stares at him. You're proposing now? While planning to fight your way through the Mafia? I'm not good at timing. That's an understatement. Zuri, let me finish. She reaches across the aisle, takes his hand. 8 months ago, I left because I thought you didn't want me. Didn't want this. But I also left because I was terrified of bringing a child into your world. A world where people get shot in hospitals and councils order babies killed. She squeezes his hand. I need to know, if we do this, if we go back, if we fight, will it ever be safe for him? For us? Jihoon is quiet for a long time. Then, I don't know. Probably not. My world is violent, dangerous, full of people who solve problems with bullets. He looks at Kenzo, sleeping peacefully. But I swear to you, on everything I am, I will spend every day of my life making it safer, building something better, for him, for you, for whatever future we might have. That's not very reassuring. I'm not going to lie to you, not anymore. His grip tightens. This is who I am, what I am. I can't change the past or undo the blood on my hands. But I can fight for a future where our son doesn't have to live in hiding, where you don't have to be afraid every time the phone rings. And if you lose, I won't. Jihoon? I won't, he repeats, and there's something absolute in his voice. Because losing means losing you, losing Kenzo. And I've already lost you once. I know what that feels like. I'm not doing it again. Zuri looks at him, really looks at him. At the man who flew across the world when she called, who fought through a siege to reach her, who's planning to challenge his entire organization for a family he didn't even know he had 3 days ago. You're insane, she says. Probably. This is going to be messy. I'm counting on it. And if I say yes, if I agree to this, you have to promise me something. Anything. No more running. No more pushing me away for my own good. Whatever happens, we face it together. as a family, or not at all. Jihoon stands, crosses to her, kneels beside her seat, takes both her hands. I promise, he says, no more running, no more lies, just us, against whatever comes. Zuri looks down at him, this dangerous man on his knees, offering her a future that's probably going to be equal parts chaos and love. She should say no, should take Kenzo and disappear, find some quiet corner of the world where mafia councils and blood rights don't exist. But when she looks at Jihoon, she doesn't see the cold boss who signed a contract. She sees the man who sang lullabies at 4 a.m., who looked at their son with wonder, who's ready to burn down his entire world to keep them safe. Yes, she whispers, I'll marry you, for real this time. Jihoon closes his eyes. When he opens them, they're bright with something that might be tears. Thank you, he says hoarsely. Don't thank me yet. We still have to survive the next 3 days. We will. He stands, pulls her up, kisses her gently. Because I have everything to live for now. The plane begins its descent into Seoul. Below them, the city glitters in the night. Somewhere down there, a council is plotting their deaths. Enemies are gathering. The final battle is coming. But in this moment, there's just the three of them. A family forged in fire and blood and desperate love. And that, Zuri realizes, is worth fighting for. And that's where we're leaving it for now, because the real war? It hasn't even started yet. Here's what I need from you. Drop a comment right now telling me, do you think Jihoon can take down the entire council? Can Zuri and baby Kenzo ever truly be safe in his world? Or is this family doomed from the start? And listen, if you made it this far, you're clearly invested. So why aren't you subscribed yet? Hit that button. Turn on notifications, because part 2 is coming, and I promise you, the confrontation with the council is going to be brutal. We're talking betrayals, plot twists, and a showdown that will leave you speechless. I'll see you in the next one. And trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next.